This is Brendan Sharkey from MHA, Head of Construction and Real Estate. And I have with me today Glen Thomas, one of my tax partners, and we thought we'd talk through the outturn, if you like, of the recent budget statement from our new Chancellor. And what I thought, Glen, I should say hello to you, Glen, but sorry about that. My bad
Hello,
manners,
Brendan.
as always. But I thought we might just go over the tax issues that arise. You know, there was rumours beforehand, what went, what didn't go. What's the effect for the industry as a whole, looking probably at the commercial side and the residential side, maybe discuss a little bit about growth. I think we should talk about a few missed opportunities and a couple of problem areas that we can see between us, yeah? The obvious thing, I think, Glen, was the corporation tax rate, as we know, has moved on to 25%, and it comes in on the 1st of April 2023. Any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, obviously that's been locked in. That's confirmed by Mr. Hunt. Yeah, I think we haven't had a change in the rate of corporation tax for a little while, so we got to revert back to some basic planning. I know that you mentioned earlier in our conversation that you're planning with some clients to change the accounting date, so an accounting period ends before the end of April, to take advantage of the 19% rate of corporation tax rather than 25% rate of corporation tax. I think a lot of our clients, being in the construction industry, will account for long-term contracts, so they might want to consider their revenue recognition policy. They might want to unusually accelerate some profit, actually. So that's all stuff we've really got to consider. And certainly also, if we've got to have clients that are thinking of investing hugely in capital expenditure, then that might be something they defer until after April to take advantage of the tax relief that will be available at the higher rates. In fact, you mentioned missed opportunities. I think one missed opportunity was the annual investment allowance remained at £1 million. I think they could have increased that to encourage further investment after the 1st of April.
Actually, I was pleased that they left it alone. I thought that could have got hit personally, but I get your idea of extending or delaying the capital expenditure until it falls into the 25%. My idea on the 19% is where people have sold property, the capital side of businesses, and they're sitting on a large gain. That 19% is quite attractive. I know we're bringing the pay date forward, but that's a 6% saving potentially. It's worth looking at. We also noted, I think, that the Liz Truss investment zones disappeared off the face of the earth, which was here today, gone tomorrow. Bit too good, wasn't it, really?
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a red herring at the end of the day. We all got very excited about it. Local authorities made their applications before the deadline. I don't think the whole idea is gone. Mr. Hunt said it would probably be more targeted to areas that have the infrastructure, but it will be a case, I believe, that the government will be approaching devolved authorities, local mayors, to discuss establishing investment zones in their areas. What release will be available for those investment zones? One might assume that it will be the release that are available previously, but we just don't know at this stage, I don't think.
No, I did understand the strategy of putting the money into areas that have been successfully developed so far, and probably they're going to be, higher density, good infrastructure, good transport, and probably value for money, really. So I don't have a problem with that. I suppose there'll be winners and losers on that one. And if you're in the right area, and that should be great for the construction industry. Business rates get a lot of mention, as you know. We've got a freeze and a multiplier, but evaluations still go up. So I think that could be still a problem for a lot of people, although he did talk about some substantial reliefs available in certain entities. So we'll wait and see. But I'm not sure about business rates and what that means. And You have a comment about IR35, don't you?
Well, we need some clarity on what's happening with IR35. Look, the big a lot of the press were talking about IR35 has been revoked by the mini budget, the cartoon mini budget, but that wasn't the case. What actually changed was the risk was put totally back onto the contractor rather than the contracting company. So now we're back in a situation where large enterprises are now bearing the risk of getting that employment status wrong when they're taking on a self-employed subcontractor through his own company.
Yeah. No, the government having accepted, in their words, it's not working, it's not good. Not to actually deal with the problem, it seems a little bit of a shame. Let's be positive though. HS2 continues. I know the extension from Liverpool to Hull doesn't go ahead. Sizewell C, which I was pleased to see because I think that's helps us in our technological development and infrastructure and a sign of the times of the future. Hospital programme continues. So actually things that the construction industry can get their teeth into, on paper still remains.
Good infrastructure projects, creates employment, and in theory, increases the tax rate for the country. Hopefully will contribute to growth and help us out of the current recession. With regard to HS2, the plan is to level up, create a lot of investment, and make the country less London centric. Some commentators fear that could actually work in the opposite direction and make a cluttered southeast even more cluttered.
I think residential might have a problem. You've got not necessarily arising from the autumn statement, but you've got the interest rates working against you, the cost of living, unemployment on the horizon, all of which should affect the marketplace. And I think we have seen that in the marketplace already. I've started to see, open quotation marks, certain deals discounts being given by the housing market. So I think that could come under a bit of have a slump really, and nobody wants to buy a property at a time when there's potentially falling prices. One wants to buy at the bottom, not at the top. So I can see how people might sit on their hands. However, I think the buy to rent market still will prevail. Student accommodation, I think I've still got a feeling that retirement living will happily tick over, but I don't think we're going to get the housing market that we need in the short term. And the SDLT relief that's continuing, I know, to March 25, I don't think that's going to make a major issue at all. I think it's going to get ignored.
No, I think you need to be shifting stuff at the top end to be able to shift stuff at houses at the bottom end, really.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that in particular is going to happen. It's forecast that house prices are likely to drop over the next 2 years. That's gonna hit a lot of confidence actually. Uncertainty with regard to where interest rates are going, basically is going to kill the housing market, and certainly our residential developers are going to feel the pinch.
I think one of the things that I'm still struggling to understand why no support really comes into play or any value is in EPC upgrades, retrofit. There isn't a lot of encouragement in financial terms really for people to upgrade or improve their housing, and everybody says the cost of heating, the cost of living is going through the roof, but actually there's nothing coming from the government that's tangible which would really help the construction industry. VAT relief or some sort of capital values against the expenditure if you own the property, but there's nothing there, and I feel that's a real missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there, and there wasn't enough done in that area at all, and you got to wonder where the encouragement for investment actually is, Brendan. Basically, because if you take that together with the reduction in relief that was announced for R&D, it becomes hard work, particularly if you're an SME. I think the government's rollback of the enhanced release for R&D is a bit of a kick in the teeth for small and medium enterprises.
Yeah, the problem there, of course, is the boutiques got in there and they've over embellished, or whatever you want to call it, overstated something. Clients are, I don't think we've got many clients, I would think, within that mold, but can understand where people are giving a tax receipt, they're thinking, I'll take it, it's manana. But no, I agree with you. Look, Glenn, I think we've probably had a fair whack at looking at it. We could say much more, but I think we'll leave it there. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Brendan.
So for those that have been listening, if you want any more information about the autumn statement, please go to our website, MHA-Hub. I'm sure there'll be more information there. And as always, we try and keep our clients and our contacts up to date of what's going on. Thank you.